Try to save the world. Said I try to save the world. If I could wipe away all your tears and fight away all the fears you have, try to save the world. Something's missing, my friend, 'cause I'm no different than them. No, I'm no Superman. Yeah. Come on. I'm no
Yo, and it's wild cause as a child I never thought about bread much. But look at us now, it could be a couple dollars we head bust. And getting money's a head rush. And they say dirty cash don't last, but it fed us, you square nigga. You don't know what it's like, man. Up all night on dirty knees, counting G's in the dice game. And the first ice chain that you got from the white cane was like brain from a tight dame. Aight, man, the bread got this pleasure effect I can't explain, but I ain't playing, it's better than sex. So good you can't settle for less, can't let it to rest despite the beef and the federal threats. It starts off with the littlest things, from weed, Skittles to bean. Before you know it, you done crippled your dreams. They addicted to white, but we addicted to green. Let's keep it real, we the wickedest fiends for real.
I could wipe away all your tears and fight away all the fears you have. I try to save the world. Something's missing, my friend, 'cause I'm no different than them. Oh no, I'm no Superman.
For real, I wish that I could say the world. I wish that I could say the world. Yo, I used to say I need more than a few chips. I'm trying to be so ballin', my heart can't even get broke. I'm too rich, started off with a few zips, and I can't lie, most I ever moved at one time was 2 bricks. But I still felt like Nino Brown. I could still hear the hater singing, he gon' drown. I thought bread was my life vest. I just never seen nothing this priceless. I guess I never thought about the hurt that I caused until I seen that little kid die for work that was ours. And ain't nothing gonna take that pain, ain't no money gonna make that change. I gotta take that, man. I saw myself in his eyes, but bread talked too loud to hear his helpless cries. And that's the cold thing about greed, can't help but wonder if one day that's gonna be my seed.
If I could wipe away all your tears and fight away all the fears you have, I try to save the world. Something's missing, my friend, 'cause I'm no different than them. No, I'm no Superman.
Yeah, for real, I wish that I could say the world. I do. Yo, and you might be the type to say, man, it's just a little bit of hustling. Look at the pen, ain't just a little bit of us. And to Hatcher Peter Folsom saying quitting the Rikers. 8 out of 10 men locked up act just like us. With the exception of the pedophiles and rapists, most of them gangsters that been about their paper. Greed's an indiscriminate drug, it's no love. It's just money, women, and blood. School system is failing and abandoning kids. Meanwhile, these jails just be handing them bids. 'Cause they don't know how to read that well, but they sure know how to read that scale. This is real life, ain't too much on the curb to encourage them to transfer from servant to be insurgents. They quick to say we fell through the cracks, but the truth is we black and we fell to the traps. Yeah, so we fell to the traps. Sometimes you gotta go through hell to get back. I give anything just to bring my relatives back to beat the system. We gotta prevail and adapt. Come on.
I could wipe away all your tears, fight away all the fears you have. I try to change the world.
I guess y'all need to see my face today, huh? Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another show today. And I have a very good, interesting topic that I want to talk to y'all today. But before we start, y'all see this little thing that's scrolling through here, this little ticker? Please follow my Facebook page. I also have a YouTube channel as well, titled The Official Urban Therapist. Please sub to that as well and share. All right. Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this topic. I already know we got a lot of people in the chat right now, chatting right now. Now I want to shout out to my boy, Money Boy Trey. He's in the chat right now talking to us on YouTube. I appreciate his support. He's talking about my intro because I was talking about his intro video. But it's all love. It's all love. But yeah. As y'all see today, today's topic is we're going to talk about this good old Kwame Brown. Kwame Brown. Now, y'all may be thinking that I'm going to get on here and I'm going to just talk about Kwame Brown and I'm going to say that, everything he's doing is all peachy and dandy. I agree with everything he's talking about. Fooled you, because I'm not going to talk about that. What I am going to talk about is a certain thing that Kwame Brown said on this last rant when he was talking about Dr. Boyce Watkins, right? So let me go ahead and pull this video up. I got it right here. It's something specific that he was talking about, and this is why I actually agree with what you're saying. But like the other stuff, it is what it is. What he do, he's what they call a truth talker. He's an entertainer, and that's what it is. That's what he do. But let me go ahead and share this video with y'all. And this going to be the base of why I say that Kwame Brown is right. And I started right here at this mark purposely. But if you want to see this whole video in entirety, you can go onto his YouTube page. It's right there, Kwame Brown, Bust Life. You could check that out at your convenience. But let me go and play it.
So he said,
let me know if y'all can hear it.
YouTube is going to pull every possible string and get lawyers and shit on me because I said we need to put coding in every high school. We need to build youth centers into every school, and that we need to go back to listening to the elders and buy land and stop giving our money away for other people to control it. Because these athletes can actually rebuild their own communities like Devin George is doing. And I spoke of a go along, get along game that don't want people to be healed because there are simple things that you can do to heal Black America, especially. And one of them is focusing some of your money and your attention on these Black males that are dying in the streets. And they know it. And once I started talking about coding, in trade schools, because of more educated people, not just throwing money at it. You can go back and look at clips of Al Sharpton talking about how much money Barack Obama gave to these schools. Wasn't it $3 billion? And the kids are reading at a 4th grade reading level today. That money ain't working. That money ain't working. It's time to stop listening to people that's selling us hope. Why would YouTube, if there's no go along, get along game, I didn't say this, Dr. Boyce Watkins said this. Why would YouTube and anybody come at somebody who's saying that the money that we raised last year for BLM, that $90 million, could have built centers all over America, or we could have put them inside the churches because the church buildings are already there. And we could have brought the best, we could have paid for the best coding specialists to teach all of these kids in the inner city coding. I think there was an 11-year-old white kid that just hacked a Swiss bank account and sent his daddy like $85 to $90 million, I think, allegedly. And then somebody's going to arrest that boy because they're going to have to teach this little kid a lesson. Because the only thing that's stopping people from taking our shit through this cyber stuff is because we can point nukes at them. But if an 11-year-old little white kid can do that, you don't think anybody else could do that? Whatever happened to our geniuses, our kids that are supposed to be prodigies? What do they end up doing with these kids? We'll hear about them on the news. Where the fuck do they go after that? Are they taking them to a lab, getting them to teach them how they do shit, and then locking these boys up or something and casting them away and calling them crazy? Why aren't these child prodigies and these geniuses that look like these young kids, why are they not teaching coding to these young kids that they look like? Huh? But we'd rather bring
got a point.
somebody that read to our children that could be a pedophile. We'd rather bring them there instead of a child prodigy that's near their age that can relate to the kids, that can help them do the wiggle wiggle. Yeah. That ain't gonna be upset and stressed out about life and their husband cheated and their kids are on their nerve. A little kid full of energy, full of passion to share that knowledge because he's a child prodigy. And you ever seen a child prodigy on TV? They are amazing. They full of life. Why are they not teaching our children? See, Dr. Boyce, they do this to all kids like me, Doc. They send guys like you to sound all educated, that adults respect. And adults like you have been standing on kids' shoulders like me for long enough. You guys keep saying children are our future, but y'all are afraid of these children. These kids are smarter than all of you motherfuckers thought. An 11-year-old took $90 million, allegedly, $90 million, 85, transferred to his daddy. That little boy don't need a jail cell. That little boy need a classroom. That little boy need to be in front of a classroom, showing not only you dumb motherfuckers how he did it, but not you people on YouTube, but the dumb motherfuckers he hacked. He need to be teaching y'all, and then he need to be in front of some classroom teaching these children, because there's something special going on in that kid's brain. It's not time to scare him and put him in cuffs. His brain is not developed to know that that was wrong. You guys say you're smart. What age is the human brain developed? I think Charleston White has been telling you on YouTube 100 times. I think you have to be 25. So this kid is not fully developed, but he was developed enough to kick your drawers in your ass. So I think this kid needs a classroom, and not you guys to scare him. He needs a classroom. He can lead the next generation. And you, with you guys' guidance to teach him right from wrong and what not to do, you can guide this kid to teach the next generation. I'm starting to think that movie X-Men, not really a movie. I'm starting to think it's kids they can't turn into aliens and all this other stuff. But I'm starting to think it's some kids that's some bad motherfuckers. And that every time they run into, you guys go check out my YouTube page. Well, you're already on my YouTube page, but go out and check out this video that I was in Miami. And my brother would always ask me, he asked me, why don't you ever talk? Why you always let these motherfuckers think one way of you and you don't say nothing? And I told him, I said, dude, if somebody see Bigfoot walking through the woods, Bigfoot can just be minding his business, being big in foot, being his own majestic, beautiful creature. And there will be some white boy that want to put it in a cage or kill it. See, they always want to do something like that to something that's big, strong, and beautiful, and they don't understand. So I told him I didn't want to talk because I didn't want to be seen. Sasquatch and Bigfoot being chased around the world forever. But what if Sasquatch got a little Sasquatch? What if Sasquatch got a Sasquatch wife? Sasquatch just need to be killed just to put in somebody's zoo for you motherfuckers to clap and look at it. So I told him that's why I didn't like talking. So now I'm trying to make sure they don't catch Bigfoot.
All right. So far, what Kwame is talking about, he's still addressing Dr. Boyce Watkins. Um, he's pretty much just explaining that instead of having all this energy trying to pretend to be intelligent or part of some type of what do you say part of the bouillet or the get along or whatever get along whatever he said what he was talking about is that we could use this energy into developing the youth. And so he was giving an example of this boy who went and hacked the internet, and he ended up getting his dad money through the one internet because he hacked it. Now I know the whole notion of that is that little boy did committed a federal crime, but however, the whole analogy behind that is that he was talking about the intelligence of the boy. Instead of that little boy having that much energy to do something like that, to hack into the internet, do something like that, why not utilize his intelligence for something good, for the greater good of the community, like starting up coding schools or starting up some type of trade for the inner city youth, so they can learn how to code and learn how to operate software systems, build software systems, and different things like that. So that was the point that he was making about that. And so that's why I'm saying, like, a lot of stuff that he's talking about in this section, I agree with him on that. I agree with what he's talking about, because this is what in our community we are lacking at. To be honest, it seems like the government is slowly but steady taking away trade schools. They're making trade schools seem like it's a horrible thing to learn or a horrible thing to obtain. But trades is actually the way to go, because every type of trade is beneficial to the community. Whether you're an electrician, whether you're a plumber, whether you learning coding, even in the medical field, learn to be a nurse or anything like that, any of them type of trades. So even being a dentist, that's part of a trade as well. These different things, it's starting to slowly but steadily become more taboo, and now they're encouraging more people, especially women, to go out and get degrees instead of going to a trade school. That they're encouraging more women to go out and spend money and get these good degrees, bachelor degrees and master degrees, PhDs. Then once when they come out, then they be owing all this money in student loans just to get this piece of paper versus a trade. So in this particular situation, I do agree with Kami on this. What he's talking about, it does became more taboo, and I think that a trade would be real beneficial to our one community. Yeah, you do have to pay for trade school like college. It's not going. It's just not free anymore. Yeah, you do have to pay for the trade money, but also they do got financial aid for trade schools. But let's continue to hear what Kwame Brown got to say.
I never understood why that is. Just think about that throughout history. They had that big old lion that was beautiful over there in Africa, wherever it was, had a nice mane. Next thing you know, you see it on a picture with two stupid motherfuckers over top of it. A doctor, I think, shot the hell out of it. Lion wasn't bothering nobody. Motherfucker flew, paid gas money, stalked them down just to kill it. Wasn't bothering him. It was in his natural state. Killed it. He didn't go to prison. He was smiling. But allegedly, Michael Vick wasn't even home when they was fighting them dogs, and he was in prison. See, it's amazing what we allow is okay and what we say ain't okay. So now YouTube and everybody will call lawyers on a guy that's given a blueprint on how to heal this thing without shouting in the street and burning down buildings. You guys have been telling me since I was a child that I can be anything I wanted to be. You told me in the school, dare to be different. You told me I could be the fucking president. We knew that was a lie, but you still told me that. You sold me all these dreams and hope. And then as soon as we try to do something about it and collect on our dreams and put our foot to the fire and say, let's make this dream a reality, you get in the way. And you use our own people to do it. You don't want us to be free. We have a government that want us to need them. We have a government that's controlling all people with a company policy through a job. These companies should not be able to operate in America. If this is really America, and you're on American soil with a company, and you're firing people, creating policies that go against the fabric of America, you should not be able to work or have a company in America. That's how you've been controlling the people. You can say what you want, but as consequence, that is some bullshit. If I can say what I want and we're free, there should be no consequence. But you guys know that. But when you give everybody jobs, when you take trades out of the schools, because see, men back in my day wasn't controlled. They wasn't focused on being educated. They was focused on being free.
Yeah, I want to stop right there too, because it was another point that he was making about the business structure right now. Well, while I was in college, I took up business management, and one of the courses I took up is called organizational behavior. It's called organizational behavior. So the whole notion about the theory of organizational behavior is that they train the CEOs, the COOs, they train the our upper level management to observe their employees' behavior, and so they put together certain policies purposely where they can control their employees' behavior. This is the reason why if you get hired on to any type of corporate job or any type of job structure, they have certain things like benefits. They have other things such as rules and regulations as well, or as what Kwame Brown saying, policies. They have certain policies as well. Now, organizational behavior, they train they train their upper level management to observe the behavior, and they also train them to put certain policies to influence certain behaviors too, to let people know that when you work with these organizations or these companies, to let people know that at the end of the day, you're never going to make it up to the corporate ladder. The highest you'll make it is more like some type of upper level management level, and that's it. You'll never be a CEO, or you'll never be a COO unless you become an entrepreneur. And this is how they train their upper level management. So I just wanted to throw that out there real quick, and that's why Kwame Brown was talking about that too.
They understood. They was connected to something. They knew the government been against us the whole entire time. They ain't looking for no government jobs. Most of our black women have government jobs. How can we speak against the government? We're creating go along, get along games through company policy and the media giving misinformation and half information. Why you think they're blocking my YouTube channel right now? Why you think something as simple as me letting my YouTube videos be played, letting you guys use them, getting you guys money, why you think they want to stop that? They don't want you motherfuckers to have no goddamn money. Are you nuts? They don't want you to have no money. That's why they don't get no money to men. No offense, ladies, but we can look up numbers. We can look up. That's what I'm saying. We got to be able to talk to y'all based on numbers. I'm going to talk to you with numbers, and I'm going to talk to you from a child being in certain situations. And numbers debunk all your sensitive arguments. They're using you, black woman. It's time for you to use them back. Kind of like I used Matt Barnes, Becky with the good hair, and CB4. Kind of how I used them and their negativity to tell you something good. Shout in the street, act like you're mad, and then use them to help your sons. And your sons will protect your daughters, just like they'll protect you. If I'm just about jokes, Dr. Boyce Watkins, and there's so many black power movements, why aren't they being silenced just as much as I am when all I'm doing is telling people they can do it on their own? And telling people what to demand from their government, from their city council members, from their elders in the community, from their pastors. I don't know. I like I said, I always thought we didn't want to fix this. I always thought it was better to give somebody, think about it. Why would they want to cure something? Why would they want to cure any disease if they can just give you the medicine for it to pacify it? If we cure it, you're done. That's one-time payment. But if we give you something that's going to pacify and never get rid of it, you can always come back and you're going to need us. It's kind of like selling drugs on the street, but it's just selling drugs in the pharmaceutical area. Same thing. You guys got to get connected to your elders again. We was healthier back then. It wasn't as sick. It wasn't as much asthma. It wasn't as much cancer running rampant in our communities. When we were eating the way we were supposed to eat. When we were growing our own food. When we were cooking our own meals and not at work and at the club. I'll be at the hookah bar, though. You see these black guys, I'll be at the hookah bar. I got to stop going. So I ain't judging nobody. Shit, I did it too. Shit, I know somebody where you say, you just trying to judge and talk about it. No, I can judge because I did it, nigga. I ain't casting no stone. I dropped mine on my head because I did it too. Oops. And now I'm telling you what I learned from that shit hit me on the head. How about that? I ain't throwing no stone. It bust me on the head. And now I'm telling you why you shouldn't do it. How about that? Do you understand that? Because it's a bunch of sensitive motherfuckers in the world now. Motherfucking results be damned. They'll just argue a dumbass point that result in destruction. But so for not for everybody. Okay. 6 people made it out of 3 million. Don't you think by numbers, we shouldn't be focused on what the fuck you talk about? Should be focused on what these motherfuckers saying? Jesus Christ. But I got my daughter, so I think I better get off this thing. But I was gonna play some more Dr. Boyce, but it's so sad at this point that.
All right, everybody. Once again, at this point, he fixing to get ready to start this ranting about things he got to do. Then he gonna start pretty much start by ranting again about Dr. Boyce Watkins. But once again, I appreciate everybody for tuning in this evening. Now, just like I say, I wanted to pull this video up of Kwame Brown for the simple fact that this particular segment right here is where I actually was agreeing him. What I agree with him on. Pretty much, that's a long story short. He was talking about that he wanted to build a community. He pretty much wanted to have accountability. Why certain things ain't happening in the community like it's supposed to be happening. That's pretty much the whole logistic of it. That he was talking about the trades versus going to college and other factors as well and stuff too. So this part I agree with him on that because it's needed. Now I know that Money Boy he was making a couple of more making a couple of key points too. One of the points he was saying that trades are needed just like other things needed as well. I agree with that. I agree that at the end of the day, everything requires balance. I'm speaking on the perspective that trade schools is just as important as colleges. Sometimes the culture or the society they'll try to deem one greater than the other. In most cases, they try to deem that going to college is greater than going to a trade school. I remember when I was growing up, um, my high school used to have a extracurricular program dealing with strictly with trade. Did a strictly with trade where it was dealing with welding, um, training the students to be mechanics, um, electricians, different things like that. And I remember the students there or my peers there, I remember they used to make fun of the dudes that was part of the trades. They used to make fun of them and saying like you ain't gonna amount to nothing. You're just gonna learn this little trade and not gonna make no money while we're gonna go off to our college in these big schools and we're gonna make a lot of money. Now fast forward to right now, the same people who's making fun of them, these are gentlemen who are part of trades now. They own their own business. They're making buku a lot of money versus the ones who been in college where some of them they didn't even finish college and now they owe all this student loans and didn't even finish college or nothing like that. So that's what I'm addressing about this about how the one culture in the society is that they try to deem one greater than the other when in reality really not. It's one and the same. It's all on the same coin and it's well needed. A trade is needed as well as people going into college is needed as well because there are certain things that you can only get going to college, but you can't get going to a trade. Then also it's vice versa. There are certain things you can only get going to a trade that you can't get going to college because we know that trade going to a trade school is theory, then it's also hands-on. But college, in most cases with colleges, it is straight theory, and that's it. Straight theory, straight theory, straight theory, and that's it. Depending on what type of degree that you're going for. So yeah. Oh, Miss Juanita, welcome, Miss Juanita. And you say the trade students don't owe any student loans. That is true. That is true. I know many people who are part of trades right now, and just like I stated earlier, they also get student loans. I mean, they get financial aid as well. In most cases, the trade be so cheap that the financial aid pay for the whole entire trade throughout their whole curriculum versus going to college where if you qualify for financial aid, it's only going to pay like a certain percentage. Then the rest of it, you're going to have to want to get loans to cover the remaining balance. So they're like saying, I'm not knocking going to college because I'm a college student myself. That's the reason why I know a lot about it because I deal with it. Um, I'm not knocking college at all, but I'm just saying that everything have to have a balance. The trade have to have a balance as well as college as well. We need people who are in college. We need people who are in trade school as well. We do. Now it was something else that Moneyboy said. He said this. He said some people are destined to just be in the workforce. They are needed, and I also agree with that too, Moneyboy. I also agree with that too. I tell people that I tell people that God give all of us a certain unique gift that we just really good at. Some people want a gift they're good at, being in the workforce, which is fine. I even take it a step further, like certain people who are work fast food restaurants or work in the restaurant industry, they're needed as well. Case in point, when we always dealing with this COVID thing, what were we doing? We had to rely on either us cooking at home or we had to rely on the fast food industry because they deemed the fast food industry as essential workers. So we had to rely on them. A lot of us, we downloaded the Uber Eats app and we was using Uber Eats to give these restaurant business. And one thing that I was so happy that, these different apps like Uber Eats and Favor and these other type of apps, one thing I liked what they did was that they gave black businesses, black restaurant businesses as well. They're allowed to have their business on the Uber Eats app as well, where people could to get service through them. And that was pretty cool on that. But yeah, it's all needed. All that's all needed. Right now, we got people who are working on our freeways right now while repairing our freeways. That's needed. It's a trade that's needed. Prior before me pursuing my degree in therapy, sociology and therapy, for a short period of time, I was working in the trade. I was, matter of fact, I was an apprentice electrician. So I learned basic things about, just being an electrician, learn about the how to do wiring and all kind of things. I was also one of the ones where, like say for example, there's a new building that's being built. So I was part of a team who had to actually go into that brand new building and help wire that whole entire building, wire the lamps and everything and stuff, help them wire that. It was a pretty interesting trade to learn, but it just wasn't my passion to do, but I know how to do it versus what I'm doing right now, which is my passion. So that's the point that I'm making with this as well, is that whatever you do, it have to be your passion. It have to be something that's needed, and also have to be your passion and want to do it as well. So yeah, it's all needed. Everything is needed. Fast food industry is needed. Fast food restaurant is needed. Everything is needed. It's a balance in it. So there's nothing more better than another. It ain't at all. Nothing. Everything is needed. It's all balanced. Everything is balanced. So I believe that this is the reason why Kwame Brown, he was saying all these things, because I remember watching another one of his rants, as I call them. I remember watching another one of his rants where he was explaining prior before him going into the NBA that he was learning these type of trades and stuff too. That's the only opportunity he had at the moment, to learn certain type of trades due to the circumstance that he was living until finally he got into the NBA. So I believe everything that he was saying is very valid. So yeah, I'm not going to go on here. I'm not going to knock Kwame Brown. I'm not going to talk bad about nothing like that, nor Dr. Boyce Watkins. I'm not going to do all that. I'm not going to clout chase none of them. A matter of fact, I was watching. I don't know if y'all are familiar with her. I was watching Vicky Dillard earlier today too. Vicky Dillard, she's with Dr. Boyce Watkins with his team, with the Black Knowledge Network, and it's on Facebook and it's also on YouTube, I believe, as well. But she made an interesting point too that I agree with as well. Vicky Dillard, she was saying that first of all, she is not going to try to take sides about whatever's going on between Kwame and Dr. Boyce. But she was saying this, but she said, however, what I'm going to do as a queen, I'm going to want to lift both of them up. I'm going to want to edify both of them. I'm gonna talk good about both of them. She was also saying that everything she agreed with a lot of things that Kwame Brown was saying. She said she agreed with that. Then there are some other things where she doesn't agree with, but it is what it is. It ain't to create tension or anything like that. But everyone's entitled to either agree or to disagree. I mean, you're entitled to that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But what I don't like is how we have the rise of these internet trolls where they try to create a situation to make it be more than what it is. So they they do all this trolling, then they do all this clout chasing to make things more what it is. They'll sit up here, take a segment or a clip or anything or what these people are talking about. It's blowing out of proportion and saying, ha, they just said this or they didn't did that. Now, the reason why I know this, not only because of I visually see it, but also trolls have did the same thing with some of my videos as well, where they'll just take a little segment of what I say, take a piece of it, and just run with it, and they'll post it on their post or platform or whatever, and take that little piece and run with it and troll with it and create all this trolling and clout chasing instead of understanding the full content of what the person is presenting. Now, that thing right there, I don't agree with at all, period. Because at the end of the day, we all are in this thing. We all in this thing to try to win. We all in this thing to try to bring quality content. We all in this thing to try to uplift our community the best way we know how, regardless if it's me, the official urban therapist, or if it's Moneyboy Trey. We got Dr. Juan Jefferson. We even got even Mr. Tough Love as well doing this thing too, Mario J. We got him doing that. We got the Kwame Browns. We got the Kevin Samuels. We got the Tommy Sotomayers out there as well too. And at the end of the day, we all just trying to bring quality content to our viewers while educating our viewers as well. That's how we're doing at the end of the day. So at the end of the day, we are one big networking not only between each other, but we networking towards our viewers too, to give some type of quality content to our viewers. But that's the only thing though. That's when we do things like this, and then we end up seeing these people getting on here just cutting up. Then it's as though they're tainting the art that we're creating. In other words, like if I'm a sculpture, right? I sculpt something out into clay, and this is the vision that I have for it, and I created it, and it looked wonderful. Then other people look at it and say it's wonderful as well. Then all of a sudden, here come this dude coming up and graffitiing it up. To me, that's totally disrespectful. That is totally disrespectful. And that's what these people who be trolling, that's what they do. And that's what these people who be clout chasing, that's what they do. They try to taint the art that you create. So once again, everything that they doing, I even especially even on my platform, there is some certain things that I agree with that they do. There are certain things I just don't agree with, but it's just my opinion. It doesn't mean I don't like them. It doesn't mean that I want to hate them or anything like that. It doesn't mean that I'm gonna go on there and troll them and do different things like that or try to discredit what they're doing. I'm not gonna do that because I understand it. As being a content creator, I understand all that. I understand all that. So, if you could get anything out of this, what I'm talking about, get what I'm talking about that, and also understand that everything is needed. Everything is balanced, and everything is needed. Trades is needed. Colleges is needed. Us being content creator is needed because we've been dealing with a whole lot of stuff. So we need entertainment while giving you some informative information as well. It's all needed. That's all I'm saying. So that's pretty much it. I'm gonna have to run, y'all, but I wish I could stay on here long. Normally, I allow people to come on here, express how the way they feel, but I just don't have time to do it tonight. But I appreciate y'all watching. Don't forget to like this. Don't forget to share this as well, so people could see this content as well. All right. So y'all have a good night. If y'all don't see the beginning of this, now it will be up and you can see the very beginning of this so you can understand where my perspective is about this. All right. So, like I always y'all continue to fight fate with faith, and I'll see y'all next time.